Hey guys, so before I record some more with Skatem, now that we're home, we're actually be playing on an actual server versus open LAN, and we will hopefully be playing on the latest snapshot, which is 15W33A. It just came out like a half hour ago, and I was just looking at it. Before I did that, I realized I never really talked too much about 32A, B, and C and the features those added. Most of the stuff we did was playing on 31A. I think I showed a little bit about 32A. I might have showed a little bit about that, but then 32B came out, and then 32C kind of finalized some of the stuff from A and did bug fixes and made it more stable, and that's what I played on. Some of the footage at the end of last episode you did actually end up seeing was actually me just playing in 32C, but nothing about it was special. So I wanted to go over a couple quick things that I missed that you saw briefly in the video last time, and then that stuff's coming out soon. So first of all, you saw in the end of last video, if you break dead bushes, they now do drop sticks, which is kind of a neat little feature. That was done in I believe 31A or B or C, one of the 31s. So here in 32C, there's a couple quick new things here. So first up, you can see just like a server where you get to pick the image and then you have the arrow. They now added images to show the most recent thing you did. Now I've noticed it's not the best. Like here we go. I've been playing a lot. I probably played like a couple hours worth. I've been exploring and just gathering resources on Skatem and I's world. And you can see it still shows us from when we were in the Nether, which is kind of an interesting thing. So if you haven't, it also has a couple warnings. So the first one is if you haven't loaded up the world yet, obviously it's not going to have the picture, it's going to have the default one like it does with the server. You also can't choose the order like you can in a server, but on here, so instead of choosing the order, on here you, just the most recent one you played is the one on the top. It'll now tell you the latest version that you loaded up the server, the game on, which is also somewhat useful. If it's unknown, it means you opened it before 15W32A. So this is an older backup here, and this is the latest backup before I tried the new snapshot. So you can also see if you haven't opened up the version, then it'll give you like, don't forget to back up the server before you load it in the snapshot. Now I'm assuming this will be special just to snapshots, because when they actually release 1.9, it's going to be stable and built so that when you open something from 1.8 or 1.7 or whatever, it won't like break the world. But this is here because snapshots can sometimes break the world, so it just reminds you to back it up, and it means that, okay, this is a new version. The last time you opened this was an old version, things might break. Now it'll have a red exclamation point, and it'll say, you've opened this world on a newer version. It'll give you like another error. It's like, this world was opened in a newer version. It might break things. Some things might be missing when you load the world. So it has a red exclamation point if you've played the world on a newer version, and an orange one if it's on the older one, telling you to back it up and be careful what you do. So I don't know when it saves these, like picks these images and stuff. It might do it like every once in a while. But yeah. So that's that. That's all the stuff they changed on the world select screen. A couple things they added. They added in a new statistic. It talks about your sneak time. This is important if, 2.48 minutes. It's important for, I think that's minutes, not hours, because it actually would count it in seconds. It's important for map makers. It's another thing that, like, if you hold shift for so long, it'll make things happen. They added a whole bunch of other stuff for programmers. They changed a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. They added a whole bunch of, I don't know what they're called. They're like, I don't know. I don't know what they're called. But just a more bunch of stuff that if you're programming or a map maker, you do notice it, and it's there. There was some stuff to improve the dragon fight, but it now really didn't do anything. Like, we're not going to worry about that because the next update that we'll be talking about, 33A, does a whole bunch more with that. They just made things like better having the dual wielding. Oh, and another thing they added here in 32, which I think you heard Skatem and I might have mentioned, was that if you wear a mob head, that corresponding mob, it'll mean it's harder for you to see it. So if you're trying to sneak past a creeper and you're wearing a creeper head, you have to get closer for it or move faster for it to see you and track you. So if you've got a creeper head on and you're sneaking, or you've got a potion of invisibility, you can basically get by that mob without ever being seen, which is kind of neat. And maybe one day they'll add more heads for more mobs, like Endermen or other things, to make it better to sneak through like all of the mobs. Yeah, so they had a whole bunch of other bug fixes with potions and arrows. The potions now have like the arrows now have the right colors and stuff, but there's still no ability to craft those. And then the dragon AI has been updated some more as well. But I can tell you right now, in the latest snapshot, which is 15W33A that just came out, they did a bunch more fixes with that, and they added some new stuff that I'll be talking about right after this, probably when I jump right in. I got to go test the world and play around it and make sure everything's good before we go ahead and get there. So yeah, I think that's about it. I might have missed some other stuff that might have happened that's been kind of under the table, especially from the very first snapshot. There's a lot of stuff put in that very first snapshot, and we didn't get to. Obviously, we haven't gotten to all of the stuff that's in the end because we're gonna, talk about the stuff when we get there. We just haven't been rushing to get to the end because we knew updates were coming with the Dragon AI, and we didn't want to like waste all of the stuff of loading that up when it wasn't quite done yet. So probably this snapshot will be able to do it, if not the one after that, for sure. One other thing I do want to quickly mention is particles are no longer entities. They're just like there. So it makes it so that you can have the games just much more optimized, and that when certain things happen like potions or deaths or different things happen and there's lots of particles, it doesn't lag the game as bad, and you can have so many more particles in the actual game. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. So the range and count of particles is much better. You can see particles much farther. That was added in 32C, so that was kind of neat that they added something else like in the end one. And then there's no longer the beacons. I know you heard Skate and I talking about beacons are no longer end-to-end ships, which they were just there for testing, much like when they had those beacon type things to mark strongholds or like the glass pillars. They are now just jack-o'-lanterns, which I assume they'll put something there otherwise. But they put dragon heads on the ends of the ship. So we'll talk about all that stuff when we get there, as I'm sure that'll be changed some more. So TNT kind of is a little bit better now as far as animations go and fuse length changes and stuff. And then a whole bunch more values again for programmer changes. Otherwise, everything else we'll be talking about will be in 33A, and they're about to. I'm actually probably not going to load up 33A yet because I just see on Twitter now that Dinnerbone has said there will be a B snapshot very shortly. 2 big bugs that everybody is running into, so they're going to load those up now. I think one of them had to do with texture packs. Speaking of texture packs, that is one thing that I totally forgot to mention and talk about, which was something that was around on the first one. We go to options here and then to resource pack. You can now see it will tell you this is an incompatible resource pack. It was made for an older version of Minecraft. It'll obviously still let you use it. Obviously, it will still let you use it, but it is just warning you that, okay, there's going to be some things that won't have textures. That'll be like back to default. So this is here. That is something new that they've done. And then this is also new, and I'm really tempted to click this. Okay, so lock world difficulty. Are you sure you want to lock the difficulty of this world? This will set the world to always be hard, and you'll never be able to change that again. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and lock that. Okay, that's kind of cool. I can never change that again. So I'm going to be playing this on single player for a bit more once the new snapshots come out and make sure they're all good and stable. I'll probably not going to load up anything in A since there's apparently 2 big bugs, but I'll go ahead and load up B when that comes out, and then I'm going to put this onto a server, and then we'll be playing with Skatem. So this may have become its own episode if I want to talk about new stuff in the snapshot, which I probably will, because that'll just be like one long video here before we actually have gameplay with Skatem. That's probably what I'll do. But yeah, I think now I have covered everything with regards to everything that I missed in 32 A, B, and C. I missed talking about, and then the stuff, yeah, because 31 B and C was just bug fixes. And 31A, let me just scan to make sure there's nothing I mentioned. Okay. Yeah, I think that was, again, if I come across something else, we'll mention it later. And then a lot of the stuff that I haven't mentioned yet is because we're saving that for when we actually run into it. Yeah, I did run around to try and find beats because I wanted to find a village. And what ended up I ended up doing was just running around the world. I found desert and savanna and plains, and I got tons of stuff. I found like 4 pyramids, but that was it. No sandstone wells. Obviously, there's no jungle temples, but no villages in either 3 of those biomes. So beats can spawn in the end ships, like in the end, but they also can spawn. I have a 10% chance of spawning in a village, and I wanted to find some, but I didn't find a single village. So I don't know if villages are just more rare now. I just got unlucky because usually you see one. I had like huge biomes. Or if they were just, you know, rare and I was just unlucky, or if they were actually bugged because the beats were put in them and they're not spawning properly. I don't know what the deal was that I couldn't find it. I was a little frustrated because I went a long way, but I also didn't want to go too far. I found 2 or 3 water temples for us to explore because I've never done those. And then we have, what else? What else did I find? I think that was just it. Nothing crazy on the biome wise other than the savanna. So I got, you know, acacia stuff. I found a sunflower biome. So I got a ton of resources, which you saw at the end of that last episode. And that's basically that. Yeah. So I didn't go too far. I explored out to like 1,000 tiles or 1,500 tiles. Obviously, you can go much farther, and I only went out one direction. I didn't go out far the other direction, just in case they do minor tweaks if there is bugs for spawning the towns, or if they change something that spawns in the world, so that world generation changes and we kind of have to like reload the world to find the new stuff, which is always my worst fear, that they do something like that in Snapshot, because I did explore a little bit, but we'll see. We probably will go to the end first before I found another village, but just in case, I'll keep my eyes out on the bugs to see if that pops up. Yeah, I basically just got tons of resources. I have 64 bookshelves I just went out and crafted, got a bunch of wood for that, so we have that to finish this up. I'm cooking a bunch of glass because I know they're going to be adding new potion stuff at one point, and we're going to be messing around with potions a lot, so I'm going to make basically 3 stacks of potion things. Empty bottles. And yeah, I got pumpkins, so we have pumpkin seeds growing now. And yeah. Enchanted books in the spawner chest that you find that were glitched, those were. I found another one in a temple, and I think I just left it. These are glitches in the game, and they have not been fixed in the latest snapshots. Maybe down the road in one of the other snapshots this week, they'll hopefully be fixed soon, because that's kind of a bummer. But it might also be because when they first generated this in the world, they were broken from the start. So basically, any world generation that's new might have them fixed, but at least in this new snapshot, and then in the ones that came out this week, so in 33, they're also not fixed. Alright, I just wanted to show you what it does if you load it up on a newer version. You can see it highlights it red, and then it has the red exclamation point that says world was saved in a newer version. Loading this world could cause problems, because obviously the things I have in my inventory will no longer be there, and the features, and I know it'll probably break it if I do load in this one. This is just one of my snapshot test worlds, and this is another snapshot test world where I explore features, but this one takes place at the end, the other one takes normal. I can say by just looking at the new version, it is pretty important that they change the particles to not be entities anymore with the new types of potions that they have. It's pretty cool, but I'm also a little concerned about how hard it's going to be to get some of that stuff and how the dragon is going to work. So obviously there's still a lot, I'm just going to say, that's going to work out with the end, so we might not be going there yet with Skatem, because there's a lot that's going to be going on with the end still to change. But it might be worth still going there because they do have the ability to respawn the dragon. For now, just in the snapshot, because there will be a way that it's going to come back later as an official way, but otherwise you just have to spawn it for right now. So just wanted to show that. I messed with 33A, but yeah, there was a couple things with broken that'll kind of really break your world, so I'm going to wait for B and keep playing on my 32C here. Beast. Oh, I couldn't kill that guy. well, I got the achievement, but it took me a little while, because I always forget that Smite and Bane of Arthropods together on don't work, or Sharpness with those don't work. So I got a Sharpness 3, and I was like, I'm not going to spend that time and levels to get a Sharpness 4. I don't want to make more swords, so I have a Sharpness 3 diamond sword, which is pretty close to doing it, and then I just made some strength potions. Because I was like, I looked that up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot strength potions will just do that. So probably could have just used a iron sword with a strength potion to do that, but went ahead and got the achievement. So a little excitement here in the middle of this episode about snapshots, because that is now done. I also really like up here in the top right hand corner having the list of all the effects that you have. I really like that, so much better than opening it up and having to look. You still have to look for the time, but just to show you, and now it's flashing, so it shows you that it's about run out. And, oh, there we go. Cool. Alright guys, real quick to update you on, to like wrap up this episode, because this episode is basically just covering snapshot stuff and that little bit of gameplay there. I'm now on 15W33B, so it came out as a bunch of bug fixes. But the first thing I notice is a bug is back from 1.7 in which 2 songs play at once. Almost sounds like there's 3 playing, so that's a problem. That bug is back. Hopefully we'll have that fixed soon, because that really bugged me, that bug. But I do notice that bug is back in this snapshot. I don't know if it was an A or what, but it is here. I'm sure there's going to be a C, because it's only Wednesday. It didn't come out on Thursday, so there's going to be updates to this. But as far as stuff goes, they updated new potions and new stuff that we'll talk about when we get there. They really starting to finalize the AI for the battle for the dragon, so we may actually probably go ahead and do that in the next week if we get to it, Skatum and I. There's been lots of bug fixes and optimizations. Of course, the one bug fix that we wanted with the enchantment books is not fixed, but a bunch of other stuff is. And Gateway Portal has new textures and all this stuff we're going to get to and we'll see later. The only thing that's really wanted to show was people were saying that this picture is supposed to be the very last thing that you see in the game, so the last thing that you look at is going to be the one that it shows here, but it does not seem to be updating for me, and I did go ahead and get on my new snapshot. It didn't look like it broke anything, but I haven't gotten it to update a new picture in a while, so I just don't know why it hasn't or what the bugginess was behind that. Because it seems like the first time it took a really long time to get a picture. It had one, and then it had another, which was the Nether, but it hasn't really had anything new. I've been playing a lot, too, outside. They did add more statistics. They had another one here. If you go over to, this includes for blocks and items, they have a new category here. So in addition to items times crafted, times used, and times mined, it also will count how many times you've picked up that block and dropped that block, which is kind of interesting, I guess. I think they have an idea for where that's going to be used, but that's here as well for when you've got times depleted, times crafted, times used. You also have picked up and dropped. So let's go look. Find the iron sword. That did not appear to count that I picked up and dropped it, so it might not be working properly. But at least it's there, that's what they're going to be adding. Otherwise, everything else is basically the same, and everything else has been changed to stuff that we'll look at later with the new potions and the end stuff. Nothing else here on the surface. They haven't added shields, and they have not added crafting recipes for the arrows yet. There was no hidden features either, because they were so busy working on other stuff. The one thing that I did see that the one item they added was the dragon breath stuff, and that's for the new potions, but there were no other items. I really looked through pretty thoroughly, and I've been following on the Reddit, and there hasn't been anything else other than the end stuff. So other than that, new statistics, we're here in 33B. This is probably what Skatum and I are going to play on when we play later today, assuming there's not a C today, because it's already the end of the day over in Europe. I'm assuming by the end of the week there'll be a C, though. Hopefully have some stuff fixed. So yeah, that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next time will be gameplay with Skatum, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to check out some more Minecraft, why not check out my Sky Factory 2 Let's Play with Zerthik and Necker by clicking here in the top left. If you'd like to see something else, you can check out my Eidolon Let's Play that I'll be finishing this summer by clicking here in the top right. You can follow me on Twitter down below, and then if you'd like what you've seen so far and you have yet to subscribe, click the big banner below.